Hello and welcome to iHeart Cooking. I'm registered dietitian Jennifer Stachler.
And I'm Chef Dugan Wetzel.
We are the hosts of iHeart Cooking, a program that's brought to you by WCTV, RPNL, and Reid Health Community Benefits. Today on iHeart Cooking, we're going to learn why you want to color your plate. iHeart Cooking, we're going to be talking about why to color your plate. Why do you want all the different colors and kind of make it a kind of a rainbow aspect? Mm-hmm. The reason you want those different colors is because all of those different colors provide different nutrients. You're talking about, your orange with your beta carotenes, your reds and greens, you got lycopene and leucotine. So you have all these different things. Why is that important? They're all antioxidants, which we talked about in previous episodes. That is very heart healthy, and again, not only heart healthy, but also for cancer and all other aspects of nutrition. So we want to have the most colorful plate. We don't want to make it dull. And also having color on that plate is going to make it more appetizing, and also makes it more appealing to the eye. So today what we're making is a ham and chard stuffed shells. So we're going to be working with Swiss chard. Now you can kind of see we have a lot of components with this recipe, so it's kind of active there for a while. It is going to take some time to bake, so it is something that takes a lot of more hands-on work than some of the past recipes we have done. So basically we've already got some of this started. First thing we have started, we got the water boiling. We have our jumbo stuffed kind of shells that you can buy in the pasta section, because stuffed shells, we're going to stuff them with actually the ingredients that we're making along here. So we got those kind of getting more soft for us right now. And we're actually going to start basically a homemade tomato sauce.
We are, yep.
So.
We're using fire roasted tomatoes. You can get them in a can at a grocery store. You can do them yourself at home if you'd like. But for the purposes of today, we are using the canned product.
Yes.
We have a little bit of oil in a pan. Maybe heard it, you can smell it. The oil's starting to heat up. Absolutely. It smells really good. It's also starting to pop, which means we're ready to start cooking.
So we're going to add some garlic there and get that actually cooking in there.
We're going to let that cook down for a minute, kind of release the aroma, and then we'll add our tomatoes. Now, like Jennifer said, we put our shells already in the water. You don't want to cook them all the way. You want them to be almost done. So if the box says 11 minutes, maybe 8 minutes.
Yeah.
You want them to be a little bit pliable, but not so much so that they'll tear apart when you're trying to stuff them.
Absolutely.
Because we are baking this for 40 minutes, and it will cook the rest of the way in the oven. So.
Yeah, and if you do, you're going to, like Dugan says, you're going to have a hard time stuffing them.
Yeah.
But when it's baking, if you already have them completely cooked, it's going to turn to mush.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get that same texture aspect to the recipe.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've got the flavors out of the garlic, so we're just going to add our tomatoes.
And we're actually going to add some pepper and basil there as well.
Best part about this, you can just put it on simmer, get a couple bubbles popping out of there, and just let it go. You don't need to worry about it. Just let it cook down, let it reduce, get some of that moisture out of there, and the tomato sauce is ready to go.
So now we got these two things cooking. We're actually going to start a third pot. So you're probably thinking, man, am I going to have enough saucepans at home? This is actually going to be the stuffing aspect to it. And we're going to be using the Swiss chard, which you see over here. And what we're doing is we're doing rainbow Swiss chards.
Yes.
Add that color to that plate.
Absolutely. What we're going to do, you can see it here. I've got a yellow one in front of me. You're actually going to cut the stem out of it. You're going to separate the two pieces. You're going to dice up the leaves, and you're just going to slice very thin through the stem itself. So, show you real fast. Really easy. Just take your knife, go around the stem, kind of just cut that out. There you go. I fold them together when I get ready to slice them, just something that I do. Cut the end off. And then really, real thin, just strips.
Swiss chard is a very high, or very good and good source. They're very high in vitamin K, vitamin C as well, actually. Good source of magnesium, so a lot of good nutrition. It's easily grown anywhere, and a lot of times you'll hear people talk about Swiss chards that they are very high in nutrition component, a lot of good nutrition. They kind of call it the nutritional powerhouse for that vegetable. So something, if you've never made it before, used it before, something to try. So Dugan's actually emptying the pasta into the strainer and getting that strained, because again, we don't want to cook it all that way. So he's just kind of
got some cold water on, rinsing it off, getting all that extra starch
Absolutely.
that kind of goes into the water off, kind of helps with separating them, because you want it to be cool to the touch so that you can handle it when you're putting your ham in there, but you also don't want them to stick together. So that's why we're doing this. You can take your hands and kind of run them along through, make sure they're separated and rinsed off, and then really they can just sit in this strainer until it's ready to use them. So we've already got 2 steps done and out of the way. We're working on our filling, and we'll be ready to assemble here pretty soon.
One thing you might want to do while you see Dugan's kind of cutting this up is turn your oven on to 375 to preheat it, because it is going to have to bake, like Dugan mentioned at the beginning of the episode, for about 40 minutes or so. So you do want to preheat that oven. So now that we kind of have our shells kind of sitting back in the strainer, this sauce is still cooking. We're going to actually start making that stuffing. We kind of already chopped up our stems from our Swiss chards, the leaves. Dugan actually did our ham already. You want to have that diced ham. One thing, if you are buying it, you can buy low sodium ham available to help kind of reduce the amount of salt that you have in this product. And again, we're not adding any extra, so you're getting a lot of that sodium that's going to be from the ham and some of the cheeses we add later. But so we're going to get started. We have the oil in our pan. It's heating up. So that's something we're going to add shallots and our
stems from the chard here. A lot of colors going on here, which is going to make it really nice and colorful. We've got some orange and yellow, got some purple and some white. Just a nice balance there.
Absolutely.
Let that go for about a minute. We'll add our ham. Let's turn this around here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and add our ham. Now the reason we separated the stems and the leaves of the chard is because stems take a little bit longer to cook. They're very fibrous. They almost look like a rhubarb.
Absolutely.
So you know how rhubarb is and how long it takes to cook that. You're going to look at about the same amount of time with this Swiss chard. So you put that in, and it's really thinly sliced, so it's not going to be an extreme amount of time, but it will take just a little bit to cook it all the way through.
Yep.
So
that's one nice thing about Swiss chards. I know we've been talking a lot about fiber too with the last few episodes. Swiss chards is high in fiber as well, so it's something that will add that extra fiber to this component. along with those antioxidants, along with the color, along with the nutrition aspect. So, like they said, Swiss Chard's that nutrition powerhouse. You can start smelling some of that onions or the shallots, either one if you want to use them. Definitely that ham's coming out of there.
Yeah, absolutely. Gonna let that go for about a minute longer. We're gonna add our leaves and some garlic to it to kind of finish it off. So we're gonna go ahead and add our garlic and the leaves from the Swiss chard here.
And again, we're gonna be adding green to there, so again, more color there.
Absolutely. And we're just gonna toss it, cook it around. It's a very durable vegetable. The leaf itself, it's not going to take too long to cook down, but it will. It'll kind of shine and glisten, and that's when you know that you're about ready to be done with it here.
Because it's so durable, I mean, if you try to grow this, which you can't easily during the summertime in your garden, I mean, it doesn't take a lot of care or anything. It can withstand itself and can take over your garden too. Makes it look pretty though with the colorful rainbow.
So our stuffed shells mixture is complete. We're going to turn the heat off here, and we're actually going to add some red wine vinegar and some pepper to it. There we go. Going to pull it off the heat, mix it up. And you want to let it cool before you do the next step, which is going to be adding the ricotta cheese and the Parmesan. You can put it in the refrigerator. You can do whatever you need to.
Yep. Especially this would be a great time, you know, catch up on some dishes, kind of catch up on everything else that you have with this, because it does take a lot of different components and different dishes to make. So that's something you can kind of catch up on that before we start going into the assembly mode of actually making it before it goes to bake. All right, so our mixture cooled a little bit. We did put it in the fridge just to cool it down some before we're going to add Parmesan cheese. And then we're going to add the ricotta. I'm just going to kind of literally go like this.
Get you. Good enough. As you can see, there's still a whole lot of color in there. It's pinks, greens, red, yellow, yeah, white. It's a lot of nice smells too.
Absolutely.
You've got garlic and Parmesan cheese. It's excellent.
And then when we add the sauce, you're even adding more color. So again, very colorful plate. Goes right with our topic.
Absolutely. Okay. So to assemble this sauce, or this dish, actually, you're going to save just a little bit, maybe a half cup of the tomato sauce that you've created. The rest of it is going to go on the bottom of the pan here. As it spins around. Okay. Just kind of spread it out. This is going to help the shells from sticking when you're cooking them off. So, like we said earlier, we did not cook the shells all the way through because you want something that's going to be easy to, it's going to hold together, it's not going to fall apart, and when you bake it, it's not going to become mush. As you can see, pretty pliable. There's still some texture to them. Just going to take about 2 tablespoons of the filling, push it on inside there, kind of close it up. And you're just going to continue doing that until you've filled your pan. Yeah.
All of our shells stuffed. We're actually going to take the top of, or the rest of the sauce, and we're actually going to top it on top of the shells. So just kind of put it on there, add some flavor and some juice into there. And then we're going to put it in the oven, again at that 375 for about 40 minutes or so to cook all the rest of the way. put it right back into the oven here, or right into the oven. And let it cook for 40 minutes.
Okay, so our shells have gone for about 40 minutes now. We're ready to go. Completely cooked through. We'll serve them up and test them out.
So we have our shells here. You can see very colorful. You got the white, you got the red, you got the greens in there. Once you open that up, you get more of those rainbow Swiss chard colors as well. So we'll try it out here. Almost kind of like a sweeter flavor when you get into it because of a lot of the components of it. But you kind of feel that cheese, the sweetness of the ham.
Yep.
Very, very good kind of combination of all those ingredients. Again, think of more of that Italian, something that's going to stick with you in a nice meal for you. So
Absolutely.
definitely color in your plate. Thanks for tuning into iHeartCooking. We hope you enjoyed the colorful dish that we made of those Swiss chards with the pasta, and hopefully you enjoy more colorful dishes in the future.
For more recipes like this, visit Reid Health's website at reidhealth.org/iHeartCooking.
We'll see you next month.